Welcome to yet another truck camper build video in the series, part 54, and we are on the corner trim. And we're very fortunate today because we got family and friends. We got Mark and Mark here featured in this film. So we got Mark and Mark and the cats. And there's the cat right there. And we're gonna get to it.
That's what you guys are up to.
We're scraping off the gook. Yeah. We're putting a little heat on it and then scraping off the gook with the plastic so that once it goes out to Jay, then he doesn't have to work so hard with the mineral spirits.
He's got a full-blown sweatshop going.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of getting it clean, right?
The cats have the hard job in here today.
Yeah, it looks real tough.
It's a tough life.
He's working with the fine tools.
Yeah, we're trying to get in between these little grooves. I don't think it needs to get that clean. He's going to use those mineral spirits to... This is just to get the rough stuff off. What I'm trying to do is, you see, when they pulled these out, it's dimpled a little bit through there. I pulled it. Can you see how this even got a little curve through here? So I'm obviously got the flat surface. Get this right in the groove so it flattens it right out. Now see this area right here where it has like a
that is
little bend? Right. Well, this right here, so I'm going to flip it and hit this side. I've been bringing it down and using this board here to try to get the center down. Because when it was pulled off, I think, obviously it had to be yanked down.
It had to be pried off because the old butyl tape.
Yeah, and if you can see how there's a rate that's raised right there a little bit. Yeah, we'll get right in that groove. And it's taking it out a little bit more. You just got to keep working at it. This isn't obviously straight. You can see how when it was taken off, it really kind of kicked out right through here. We're just trying to get this wave that's in it out of there a bit.
I guess it would have been cool to see the before because this thing winged out like way out here just from prying it off. It was all bent up.
Yeah,
so we're trying to
got to do a little bit more through here to get it, but you're not going to notice that on this.
But either side of the
Right.
trim is going to have caulking.
And once you throw the paint over that, it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be really good. Yep.
And then what do you got going on?
Well, I'm the next step in the process, and I'm taking the piece of trim work, taking mineral spirits, and cleaning off the residual butyl tape and whatever else caulking that the previous owner had on there, making it ready for the next layer of butyl tape, for reassembly. Once the whole panel looks like this, I'll take a little bit of naphtha then after that with a new cloth, wipe down all the mineral spirits, and then this piece of trim work's ready to go, and just keep going and just get them all done. This trim goes on the bottom where the tie-down brackets stick through, and when I removed them, it was not easy to do. Go back and watch another video, and you probably will see it. Mark's working on fixing it up.
See how this is rounded?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a little bit of a rounded
That's got
edge
a round
here, so
to it,
I'm
how
gonna go
you're
ahead and
saying.
match it up.
Oh, so that got messed up from when I removed it, and it's not rounded like this corner is.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just put it in the vise. I think I can tap it down in there.
So this is one of the nose trim pieces, like this it is. And that's the nose of the camper where the cab over is. So Mark was in there, he scraped off most of the big butyl tape, and now I am cleaning the residual off with the mineral spirits. We're just getting her done. We're getting her done. All done. Nice.
There's
Toothbrush.
a lot of cat hair up here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's stuck right on the butyl tape.
Yeah, well we're gonna.
It's one with the camper now.
So, what are you doing, Mark?
Prepping for the butyl tape that's gonna go on before the trim.
So what are you cleaning it or what?
Cleaning it with alcohol. At first I was using a paper towel, but then the staples were just ripping it up, so then I just went to a toothbrush.
Look at that.
Mark, did you use an Oral-B or a Colgate?
Oral-B.
Saves everything.
Yep. Well, look, he's over there using it.
Yep. I don't know if I'm gonna rip through 18 of them today, but I'll definitely use one.
What are we working
Do
on?
we need this? Oh, how's it going? You came at a good time.
You did.
Look at this. So we have the butyl, 3 layers of butyl tape, 2 3/16 thick pieces, and 1 3/4 inch thick piece.
Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, right here. One on this face, one over here. Because of the distance, it's hard to explain, but that's just what we had. And then we had to actually kind of dry fit this and make it fit to the actual new profile of the camper, because the profile of the camper is a little bit different than what it originally was, because I couldn't measure perfectly. Go back to the beginning episodes and you'll see why. It was mulch. Right now we got to start at this corner, put it in the corner, because that can't change, and then we're going to work our way with screws. Okay, there's one.
Sherman.
How are we doing over there?
That's what I want to ask you guys. Making some progress?
Making some progress. Yep.
On the other side now, huh?
Yeah, so you're just on the other side.
Go ahead.
Good. So we're just trying to keep this lip, this overhang, at the correct location. Sound good?
That's real good.
Yeah. And because these are all fresh holes, it's a new camper, it's new virgin wood behind there, so there's no holes to find like we did before, or like if it was installed on this camper before. So we have to really coax where this trim is, plus it doesn't fit perfect, to make it so that these gaps are as small as possible. So that's what we're doing. So he's holding that tight while I try and guide the screws. And you don't want to slam these too tight, because then you'll, 1, break the screws, and 2, blow the butyl tape out too much. Something was in there.
That was really cool.
I was like, I think I had a piece of 1/4 inch steel back there. No, I don't. Here's the front trim that we got on here with washed out Willie here for the lighting, but we have the butyl tape on there. We have, I found out that this was a little bit rounded, more so than I built it, because it was all mulch, couldn't tell. So when I put the trim on, I just use a dead blow hammer to hammer it flat, and with the aluminum it actually morphed itself into where we need to go. You can see we had a little bit extra. We're just going to cut this off. This side is done, so we have both of the front nose pieces on. Then you come to the back of the camper, and we have got the first piece on here. Obviously these are on, but we have the first corner piece, which you see here, which goes over, and you know, it worked. The siding isn't perfect over here, so there's definitely some gaps going on that you can see. But what I did was, again, I just used the dead blow and just hammered it in, really. It's not perfect, but the caulking is going to be the saving this. This side I like better, it oozes out. That's what I'd want, but I did the best I could for what I had. And now next step is to this side, and you know, here's a piece, here's the other piece, and what I've been using is I have 3/4 inch wide butyl tape, which it's important to get good quality butyl tape. And I have, so this is 3/4 inch wide butyl tape made by Sika. And then this is 3/16 I believe with butyl tape. This is made by Tacky Tape, and both of these I tested and they passed the test. Some of the, just a warning out there for you guys, if you get some of that butyl tape or putty tape or whatever you want to call it from a lot of the big RV ordering places, it's not as good a quality as this butyl tape, which was meant for pole barn metal roofing. So that's where I got both of these from, was from a pole barn supply. I put on a 3/4 inch bead in the middle, and then I put a 3/16 and then a 3/16. I'll show you when I'm done. There you go. You just gotta get this corner in there, because once you get it in there, it kind of is hard to move. So you want to get it in the spot. So I got that piece of trim on just snug, pretty snug. What the heck are you doing? Just hit all of the gaps in best I could, and then I'm going to drive all the screws in just a little bit more, and then it'll be it. This is the situation that we got. A leaking air compressor. It's going to kick on now. What you got to do to be a YouTuber. Oh my gosh. Life-changing decisions. Make sure your air compressor's off and make sure your radio's off. All right, first things first is that. Second thing second is this. So we're at the front. I don't know if anybody knows, but this is a truck camper. Okay, first, that's it. Now, we're in the horizontal wing wall, and we have the vertical wing wall. Now, this trim, which loops all the way around, that was put on previously, there you are, put on previously, it was a different size. That's where it needed to go. That's just where it went. So here we are. So now we have an overhang. I'd rather have too much trim than not enough. So this angled trim goes on like this, right? Everything looks happy, perfect, right? That's the way it should have gone on. It looks pretty good. This side looks better. But the trick is that overhang, that needs to be against like that. So what I'm gonna put this on here like this, and then you just hammer this thing flat and re-bend the aluminum curve, and then I'll cut this flush beforehand and it'll be a done deal. Show you when it's done. So I might as well tell you all the steps here. I cut this flush with the bottom, as you can see, and then I took a file and filed it down where the sharp edges were. Now there's another piece of trim that is gonna go right here, that goes the full length, and then this one comes up to here. So I'm gonna put this one up dry, and it's gonna go up to right there, and I'm gonna butt right up against it. I'm gonna send one or two screws in dry with no butyl tape, and then I'm gonna hammer it into the new shape that it needs to be formed around there. So now I have two screws in the holes that were there, holding it up dry, no butyl, and it's just hanging here. Then I'll just hold it into place, or I use a dead blow and I'll just hit it to reform it. Then I'll take it off. I just kept putting another screw, hammering it flat, putting another screw, hammering it to contour this new edge, and now it's good enough where the screws will suck that in. So I'm gonna take all the screws out, take it off, put the butyl tape on, and just throw it on there. Okay, so I got the butyl tape on, got all the screws, and got the piece of trim set in there. Now I tightened it, but I didn't absolutely tighten it to where I want it to be maximum, and there are gaps, as you can see, between the butyl tape and the siding. So what I'm doing is just taking a dead blow and hammering those against the tight, and then it kind of loosens up the screws a little bit, and I'll just hit them all a couple taps with the impact, and it'll be done. There you go. Don't forget, there will be caulk that's gonna go in after this. I have got this piece on, which is the beginning of the wing walls, whatever you want to call it, vertical. That piece is on because this piece has to go on next. So there's a piece of aluminum here that is got a rolled edge to it that goes the full length and goes in the groove that the siding has. That's how this is designed. There's a lip here. Butyl tape. So we have the trim completed, the nose section, this portion of the trim which is on the wing walls, the vertical portion of the trim back there on the wing wall, and also the flat trim that tucks up into the bottom of the siding all the way down, that goes in between the tie downs, which I just sprayed those black because they got all chewed up from the paint, got all chewed up from sliding that on and off. And then the next piece, there's a corner trim in there that's got to go on, and then up top there's a drip rail that goes the full 16 feet, roughly 16 feet, and that's what we're going to prep for and make it happen. We have second piece of butyl on, pushing down the paper and making sure that the butyl is compressed onto the actual aluminum trim. And then once that gets compressed, we do the best part there is. Ready for application. We're doing the drip rail trim for when it rains like it is right now. And got it all done on both sides except for this tail end of it. And you can kind of, nothing's straight on the camper, right? Just because it's all old materials. So you can really maneuver this up and down to where you need it. So just keep that, it's a good thing. So what I'm doing is I'm setting the drip rail probably 1/8 to 1/4 inch below the actual roof, so that the drip rail edge isn't higher than the roof and the water will dam up. Here are the last two pieces of trim, and what they used was just some aluminum siding that they formed and cut a bunch of relief cuts, and this is the trim that goes on the inside of the inner wing walls. They just slapped it in there with screws. I'm gonna put butyl tape on both sides of them just to give it a little bit better of a seal. There you go, installed driver's side lower wing wall trim. And that's gonna do it for this video. We have all the trim installed on the truck bed camper, ready to rock and roll. There's definitely more things to do to complete it, but we're gonna leave it at that, and we'll see you next time on the Truck Camper Build series.